In this lesson, I'll show you how to play a cool slide piece in Crossnote tuning. Hey, John here with your Tuesday Blues, and before we get started with the tutorial, there are a couple things that will be handy for you to know. First off, I'm in open E minor tuning. It's beautiful. It's also called crossnote tuning. And keep in mind that crossnote tuning refers to the intervals that the strings are tuned to relative to the root pitch. So crossnote could really be in any key, but we're in E here. If you don't want to tune up your 5th string and your 4th string, you could just tune to crossnote D and slap a capo on the 2nd fret. I'm also using a thumb pick here, and I'm keeping my thumb working with an alternating bass line going throughout this example. And most of the notes are going to be played with a slide, but I am mixing in a few fretted notes here and there. And finally, premium members will have access to the extended cut, plus additional lesson materials like downloadable tabs and access to the Sound Slice tab player to help you nail this piece. Now, let's get started breaking this piece down. So we have an alternating bass line between the 6th string and the 4th string happening here, and we're actually doing this on an 8th note rhythm. So we're going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we bring in the slide on top of beat 2, just for that simple little phrase there. And what's happening is I'm at the 3rd fret, 1st string, and kind of pushing past the 3rd fret. And it's up to you how far you push. Sometimes I feel it and I want to just push hang right around the 3rd fret. Other times I'll push this closer to the 5th or maybe even the 7th fret. Very subtle difference, but feel free to mix it up. Either way you choose, we're going to end this measure with this little move. So what's happening there is in between our basses, we're inserting this little ending move here. 3rd fret, 4th string, 3rd fret, 5th string, and then open 4th string. But there was one other subtle thing that I did there, and I want to encourage you to work it in. It's okay to push through on these bass notes, maybe not every time, but at least sometimes, to get that open 3rd string, and maybe even the open 2nd string in there. That really gets to the heart of this tuning, this open E minor sound that we've got here. We're going to answer that with a little bit of a different melody on the 1st string. So what's happening there is bass is the same as before, 6th string, 4th string, and on beat 2, I'm sliding up to the 5th fret on that 1st string, and then back down, before finishing with a slide up the neck, and then the open 1st string. For that last one, I do like to push that and come all the way up to the 5th fret or maybe even beyond it, just to really keep some cool bluesy inflections happening here. Jam on that main riff and get it going on your guitar. But when you're ready to change chords, I'm going to take you through that right now. We're going to play through the 4-chord part here at the 5th fret and the 5-chord part when it comes up in the progression here at the 7th fret. Let's take a look at each. So we're sliding up on the 6th string to the 5th fret, and our bass is going to at least start out with the same movement that we've been doing before. Only now, hold the slide at the 5th fret and make sure that you're over the 5th fret on not only the 6th string, but the 4th as well. So you can get that going. Can be a little bit tricky, especially on the 6th string to get a really good sound. A light touch goes a long way here. But then we're going to wrap up this measure by going down to the 3rd fret and playing this. And we've got some options there to do some of that sliding where we push past the 3rd fret. Again, use that to your taste. I'm doing it really slightly there, but you could feel free to come up a little bit further. And definitely as you cycle through the progression, change things up, keep things interesting. The next measure over our 4 chord is basically the same, but we finish with a little more of a longer drawn out focus on this note, the 3rd fret of the 4th string, before going back into our main riff. Now we just need to tackle what happens over the 5 chord, which is at the 7th fret. It's pretty similar to what we just did. Let's take a look. So this is very similar to what we just did over the 4 chord, but we're using the 7th fret as our starting point. Now we are dipping back down to the 5th fret to get that bluesy flat 7 sound of our 5 chord, and then coming back just so we kind of stay grounded in the 5 chord here. Now if we want to combine these two and move from the 5 chord to the 4 chord and back down into the 1, like in bars 9 and 10 of a blues progression, it'll sound like this. So all we're doing there over the 4 chord that's different is coming back up to the 7th fret there on the 4th string. I think it's got a cool sound to it. Now let's have a look at the complete performance. Remember that premium members have access to additional materials like the extended cut, downloadable PDF and Guitar Pro tab files, and the incredibly useful Sound Slice interactive tab player for this lesson. Plus, you'll have access to the entire library of premium lessons. If you're not already a premium member, then you can become one right over here at that link, and I hope to see you inside BGI. Until then, practice smart and play on.